Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. So just last Wednesday we saw the release of a very huge comic. That's right, today I'm giving you guys my honest review of Amazing Spider-Man issue number 75. This is a very important issue that a lot of people are hopping on board for because this is the start of a brand new era of Amazing Spider-Man. But in the previous issue number 74, we of course got the huge finale to Nick Spencer's 74 issue run on the Amazing Spider-Man that has been running since 2018. But for this brand new creative team, they decided to just continue on with the same numbering, which I'm very grateful for. It always makes me kind of angry, and Marvel just relaunches with like brand new number ones. On this specific issue, though, to kick off this brand new era of Amazing Spider-Man, we've got Zeb Wells writing. I did like the writing for the most part. It was honestly pretty simplistic. We didn't have too much happen in this first issue, but then the artwork is what really sold me on this story. I loved the issue because of this artwork. The writing was decent, but the artwork was amazing, which was by Patrick Gleason on this issue. Gleason also did a lot of the artwork for Nick Spencer's run, but now he's continuing on also as a writer. He's going to be writing some issues of the new Beyond story arc that's just kicking off in this issue. But I am going to be talking spoilers later on to the video, getting into all of the little details, what's going to come next, what my theories might be, you know, pretty spoiler territory. But like I said, not much actually happens in this main story. It was a 30-pager for the main story by Zeb Wells and Patrick Gleason. They are going to be doing the next issue too to wrap up like this first little kickoff to the Beyond story arc, and then after that they've got like Kelly Thompson on board. A whole bunch of other writers are just going to be rotating, but all telling one continuous story that has to do with Peter Parker and Ben Reilly. And that's pretty much what this whole issue was. It was showing Peter Parker recovering from the events of Amazing Spider-Man 74, the last issue of Nick Spencer's run. I will be getting into spoilers for that issue too, just a fair warning, but Harry Osborn died at the end of that. And now we're just kind of recovering from Harry's death. Peter Parker's not in a good place. MJ is also kind of reeling from the impact of losing a good friend, and they're just trying to get through it together. But meanwhile, on the other hand, we see the big return of Ben Reilly, who's this classic clone of Peter Parker's. He's been hired by the Beyond Corporation, some sort of like new corporation that's been around for a few years at this point, they explain in the issue, but they've got a big budget, so they're spending it and trying to get into the superhero business. They've hired Ben Reilly to be the official Spider-Man. Ben definitely has some upgrades to his suit. He's got like these crazy sonic booms that he can make, these special webs, and a whole bunch of other things that are special about his costume, because this Beyond Corporation has such a high budget. So we just see the issue opening up with Peter Parker still dealing with the impact of Harry Osborn being dead at this point. He's just waking up, scrubbing his face, and just kind of living through life, doing patrols, and starting at like the top of this high building that it's revealed that he always starts at when he's doing patrols. He's just like, at least this is where there's no traffic, right? Down in New York City, there's all these cars happening all the time, and traffic jams and everything, but here there's no traffic. And then that's immediately shattered by Ben Reilly in his brand new Beyond Corporation suit, swinging through the scene, and then Spider-Man chases after him. We eventually see Ben Reilly detain Peter Parker with like this weird spider mechanic that wraps around him, and then says he'll be released in 1 hour. So it's kind of Peter Parker getting a taste of his own medicine. After that, though, we see that Ben Reilly knew that it was Peter Parker chasing him. He goes and meets him in real life while Peter Parker is outside of Empire State University, which he's been attending ever since Nick Spencer's run, and he wants to eat lunch with him. He's saying, let's meet up, I need to talk to you about what's going on here. And we just see Ben Reilly kind of being a little bit harsh with Peter. Peter is like, so you're just going to be the new Spider-Man, I guess, and like kind of getting ready to say, that's fine, we can work together. But then Ben Reilly is like, you know, just to be clear, I'm not asking for permission, I'm just telling you that this is happening. I've already signed the deal with the Beyond Corporation, and I'm making a lot of money. He actually says that to Peter's face, which made me not really like him very much, because Peter is always struggling for money. But then in the final scene of this main story of the first issue of the brand new Beyond Creative Team arc, we see Ben Reilly and Peter Parker teaming up for the first time in their Spider-Man costumes. They go against the UFOs, who recently appeared in the Immortal Hulk series. Peter Parker arrives at the scene, turns out Ben Reilly was already there, and Ben already made the same joke that Spider-Man did. So some pretty funny writing in here. That's kind of what Zeb Wells is known for, especially in his like Hellions run recently for X-Men comics. But the huge thing, the huge cliffhanger that happens at the end of this issue is something that a lot of people have been expecting based on the next next cover for issue number 76. We basically see Ben Reilly putting into effect this like special explosion effect that he could do with his suit to take down all of the UFOs at once. Ben Reilly is fine. He knows that his suit is able to absorb the impact and everything, but Peter Parker not so much. We see him trying to get himself out of the rubble. He's all bloodied up, and Ben Reilly realizing that he did something wrong. He's like, come on, talk to me. Are you okay? And then Peter Parker fainting. We see the screen go black. To be continued next week. We do have number 76 coming out next week, and the cover to that one is Spider-Man in a hospital bed with MJ by his side. He's very badly injured and recovering from something. And everybody thought that that was going to be him recovering from some sort of injury at the end of Nick Spencer's run, because that would make more sense, right? But now it's turning out that this is just his injury at the very beginning of Beyond. Based on the solicitations for these next few issues, turns out that the Beyond story arc is going to be happening for only 6 months. They revealed at the end of the letters page in this issue, but it's going to be 19 issues in total, released 3 times a month. And this was a decent kickoff to it, in my opinion. I might have expected a little bit more. I mean, I didn't know what to expect because you never know what they're going to do with a new run, but it's kind of looking like this is going to be a pretty regular series, a pretty regular run. Of course, there's more issues to come out soon, but usually the first issue of a series gives you a tone of what it's going to be like. So it was a pretty good issue overall. I'm kind of excited to see what happens with Peter Parker, how his recovery is going to end up going, and how this all wraps up. Is Ben Reilly going to continue to be Spider-Man? How is Peter Parker going to end up like fighting against him or working with him, or what? But we've got Miles Morales teaming up with Ben Reilly in upcoming issues, and a whole bunch of other stuff going on. We do also have 2 extra little backup stories. Each of them was about 5 pages. The first one here is a story following the Daughters of the Dragon, which is written by Kelly Thompson. I'm not that familiar with the Daughters of the Dragon in general, but it's Misty Knight and Colleen Wing. They know martial arts and stuff. I don't know, but they're just fighting these monsters in the streets of New York City. And then we see Ben Reilly pop up on the scene. He's saying, good job taking down those monsters because they're successful. And then he's saying, we want to hire you to the Beyond Corporation. It's going to pay well and you're not going to regret it. So they do accept, and we do know that they're going to play a big part in these upcoming issues. And then in this other backup story, which is written by Zeb Wells as well, with art by Yvonne Ferrelli, also just has the Beyond Corporation hiring another person. We see the scientist called Dr. Kafka, who has been, I guess, experimenting on electrodes. She's been kind of unsuccessful with her research and she's trying to break through. But then the guy who's behind the entire Beyond Corporation, he offers her a contract and shows her the Ben Reilly file, and she's immediately interested. I don't know if she has any history with Ben Reilly. She probably does because she immediately accepts the job. So it wasn't exactly the kickoff I might have wanted. I did enjoy the issue overall, like I said. I might have expected maybe a little bit more, but it is going to be 3 issues a week, so my guess is that they're going to have pretty slow plot progression. It looks like there's a lot of different ideas that these creative teams are going to be rolling out throughout these 6 months of Spider-Man Beyond, and then after that, who knows what'll happen. We'll probably get only one writer on Amazing Spider-Man, just like Nick Spencer was the only writer on his run, and from there, we'll just see regular Peter Parker back. For this issue, my final rating, I'm going to give this one, I'd say like an 8 out of 10. I did enjoy the artwork. That was my favorite part. The writing was pretty decent. I just might have expected a little bit more, like I said, because it was a pretty simple issue and not much actually happened. Let me know what you guys thought of this review down in the comment section below. I think it would be really fun to make this like a series that I do, reviewing every issue of Amazing Spider-Man, at least while this Beyond Corporation run goes on for those 19 issues. So if you got some good information from this video, or if you enjoyed it at all, make sure to hit that subscribe button. That's the big red button which is sitting right below this video. You can also hit the notifications bell which is sitting right next to it. You'll be notified every single time I post a new video if you don't want to miss any. So that's everything from me for today. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Bye guys.